Welcome back to my channel. I'm Day. This is Daylight Healing Oracle, and here is your video for the Gemini New Moon. Now, you may have noticed I'm in a different location. I'm filming this with my kitty Noodle here, just as the moon has entered into the sign of Cancer, because this Gemini New Moon caused me to look at the way that I view this energy in an entirely different way. Gemini is the mutable sign of air, the changeable sign of air. Now we have the mutable signs, the changeable signs, the fixed signs that really hold the embodiment of that energy, and the cardinal signs that are the creation signs. 12 signs around the zodiac, 3 groups of 4. Each of these 3 groups of 4 can end up creating a cross around the wheel. So that is often why we see squares that happen in these mutable signs, because they are at a cross on the wheel. So during this new moon, we've had Gemini and the Sun conjunct right next to each other at 26 degrees of Gemini, while you have Neptune in Pisces at 27 degree Pisces. So you have this square, this agitation, if you will, that is causing these energies to come face to face. And when these situations occur, when these planetary bodies create these massive energetic shifts, we experience them in our lives in very different ways depending on our own unique map and experiential nature. So personally, I happen to have Pisces, the sign of Pisces, over my house, my 3rd house of Gemini on my astrological chart. So I am very well versed in the overlapping energies of Pisces and Gemini. Now, during this new moon, we've also had Saturn in Pisces, which is a big astrological event that we can all feel. There may be many different ways that people are explaining Saturn in Pisces, but I want to take a step back from the patriarchal lens of, how we may describe these signs, and I want to think about it in a different way. Saturn in Pisces is about a fluid nature of how we build structure. We have been in this world where there has been so much energy expelled in grasping onto power, grasping onto the control of the physical structures. And now we are in a place where you can no longer grasp it because it is so energetic. This requires a sort of faithful connection in what we build. All of this is occurring during a great time of evolutionary change. So here we are in the ideas that we create with Gemini, being faced with the question, why do we dream? What is my relationship to dreaming? How do I identify what I discern as reality or not? Do I keep those dreams far away from me, never to be experienced, or do I integrate it into my daily life? Because I have an unshakable belief that this dream is here for a reason. During this transit, we are being faced with these questions. Why do we dream? There is a deep inherent meaning in all of our desires and dreams. And if we are in a world where we feel like we must daydream to escape where we are, why has that world been built that way? There is some questioning. It is normal to question. There is a collective expansion where we are deciding to question this concept that tells us that our dreams, our daydreams, must stay in the ether and never be real. Well, right now is the time to make these dreams real, to live them out. And this comes from a dedicated commitment and an understanding and that the visualization that you have is there for a reason. The visualization you have is heaven sent, is there for you to have hope and to bring you forward and to bring you to that experience. During this time, we also have the very, very influential planet of Pluto shifting from Aquarius to Capricorn, Capricorn to Aquarius. It is going through a big evolutionary shift of going from Capricorn to Aquarius, but during this time, it's going retrograde. So we have to go over the path and see what breadcrumbs you may have dropped in our desire to change everything and move forward. This is the great change. This is changing structures, but it requires us to take our hands off the control. This has been humanity's great task, great teaching. How do we take our hands off the need to control the outcome? Can we trust in the outcome? Something that has been coming up for me is, and that I'm realizing, is that when I am in a place where I see what is happening, I see a visualization, and I trust that everything is unfolding, I often come up with some sort of lesson, test, that requires me to keep the optimistic faith in my mind and allow all the good to unfold. And what I have realized is that in that moment, if you can trust that what you are visualizing, that what you are working towards each day, that what you have put the work into has been enough, you can do less and attract more, and that when this happens, you are showing to yourself that you and your internal energy and your internal connection to source is your validation. And if you need the external validation, then you always will. And if you can find the internal validation, then you will always be able to find the internal validation. So it really is much less about what comes to us and much more about how we allow it and the experience while this is happening. Let me take a sip of water. because we are water. We are the elements. We are the elements that create themselves, that are ever changing and ever evolving, and the elements that stand sturdy. We are all of the fixed and mutable and cardinal signs. And I will make a video further explaining all of those signs, and we can get a little bit more in depth. But right now, I want to offer a couple journal prompts that can help you to, find this transition a little bit more smoothly. Something that has been coming up has been the fact that as we evolve, so too do our dreams. And you don't have to keep going after dreams that maybe aren't what you want anymore. And this is giving us a chance to reevaluate what it is that we want and really feel free to let go of what we don't want, to stop trying to make things work based on starting out with a compromise. What if we just claim exactly what we want, exactly what we desire, not what we think we need to have this to feel a certain way, but no, like, what do I want to feel right now, this day? Here we are, right before the solstice. I'm gonna make another video in a couple minutes about the solstice. But where we are now is understanding how the path that led us here was completely uniquely designed for each of our specific revolutions and evolutions within. So here we are, working with these energies of the mutable signs, the Gemini New Moon, squaring Neptune in Pisces. You have the mutable air sign squaring the mutable water sign. We just had a Sagittarius full moon, that is the mutable fire sign. And I want to balance this all out by talking about the mutable earth sign, Virgo, because within these four signs, Virgo is the grounded earth of mutability, of ever-changing growth. And as we connect to the mind, the air of Gemini, we connect to our emotions, our dreams, the water that is ever so deep, that is the endless oceans, that is the constant changing of the currents of Pisces. The expansion and the fire energy of coming from one place and knowing exactly where to go, that is the exaltation of Sagittarius, this mutable fire sign. All of this is balanced through what we do in our daily life, which is what Virgo represents. Because it is about constantly adapting to how we go about our daily life and what intentions we bring to that, and how what we do consistently adds up. So I invite you to bring your dreams, to bring your artistic creation into everything that you are building in your daily life. Because at the end of the day, it is each day, right? It is each day how we feel at the end of the day that I think really ends up compounding into our lives, into what we experience. how can we find balance? How can we reevaluate our dreams? What dreams am I following right now? What do I really want? And is that aligned with what I once thought I wanted? Can I give myself the ability to change, to allow the constant mutability that is our experience here on Earth? That is our opportunity here as we gear up for a very, very powerful and intense solstice that is sure to change your life forever. I'm going to just pull one tarot card as some advice on how to balance the changes and to trust the unseen. To trust that what we visualize is coming to us, even if we can't quite see everything in our immediate surroundings and how that's working out. We have the Knight of Emotions on the bottom of the deck, this beautiful spiraling seahorse unicorn. Ace of Inspiration, Ace of Wands, that was the Knight of Cups, Ace of Wands, Seven of Voices. This is the Seven of Swords with this fox here. And then you have the Two of Materials, Two of Pentacles with these two roses. You know, the rose is very important to what is coming up this solstice, and I'm going to make another video going a little bit more in depth about that. But the fact that these cards are coming out is really telling me that where we go after our dreams, this Knight of Cups, going after our true desires, this chivalrous nature of following your heart. There is a divine spark that is leading you. And what you are being called to do, even if it is in the shadows, there's a reason why the fox needs to be sneaky sometimes. The Two of Pentacles, the infinity sign in roses, the constant evolution, the constant growth. What is happening on a great planetary scale is directly a fractal pattern of what we are experiencing in our daily lives. How can you further understand maybe how this is affecting you personally if by looking at your astrology chart? You can see where these signs fall over your chart in the houses, you know? What house is ruled by Pisces? What house is ruled by Gemini? What house is ruled by Sagittarius and Virgo? You can overlay these energies as almost like a lens over one another. Two archetypal energies, archetypes that you can blend and understand. That's what's so beautiful about astrology. Each of us is a unique snowflake pattern. It is limitless, the possibilities and the understanding that we can have about ourselves and our lives. So I hope this brought you some help and some clarity for this Gemini new moon. I will be coming on to talk a little bit more about this summer solstice that's in a couple days. That is a great evolutionary change. So I'm just sending you all the love. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this time of change is being good to you. let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to hear, you know, how this has helped you. Thank you for being here. Well, if you'd like any personal readings, you can check the description box below. All right, take care.